And we are going live, making sure everything is going, and we are live. Hey, welcome everybody to Synth Talk, where myself and joining me here is Scott Berry. Scott, where is Scott?
Yes, sir.
Scott is.
How's everybody doing? Hold on, focus.
Focus. We'll put Scott in his own like scene right there for Scott. Yay, Scott has his own scene now. That's cool. We're working on stuff. Let me put it back to the main scene. So, everybody, welcome. We are working on a bunch of cool stuff here and for you guys. And as you know, this is episode 18. Scott, can you believe it? That's pretty.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pretty nuts. And so, anyway, let me just say hi to everybody. I see Marktronics. That's cool. I'm having Ed. He's having Ed Diaz and Scott Berry withdrawals Tuesday. Couldn't get here fast enough. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to do that because actually Scott and I are actually doing a bunch of stuff for our company, and also we need a little bit of the time off too to kind of figure out to do stuff. And Demapic Studio, he's laughed out loud. Yep, Nico Flemings, he's here. I'm also here tonight waiting for the masters to teach us some tricks. We're gonna try. Arbuzz Pro, hi, how are you? I see Scott. Hi, Scott. And let's see, Robert St. John is there. Marktronics. Let's see. Bella Lugosi, hello, how are you? And let's see, Robin. Hey, what's up, Robin? And I see Michael Henderson. All right, so look at Scott. They see you, Scott. So we've been working on some stuff in the background, and Scott, I want to give you an opportunity. Let me adjust my camera. There we go. Nice. There we go. I want to show off Scott right now and what Scott has been working on in his studio, okay? So, Scott, I'm going to switch to your scene. Show him what you got. Just kind of take him through what you're doing now. Here we go.
Well, basically, one of the things, part of what's going on in the world was prompted this and made it happen quicker, which is really cool. But I had to go through and set everything up. So I had to gut my music room out, rearrange everything, try to figure out where I could get things to fit, get a video switcher in here, the cameras, everything else that's going on so that I can now do tutorial videos from here. So I'll just go through a couple little views. I've got 3 cameras right now. It's real simple. So overhead view of Jupiter X, which we'll go through and see what you guys want to go, with topics and things like that. Close up of the screen. Unfortunately, this camera keeps drifting a little bit because it's on a mic boom, but hey, what can you do? And then, of course, I can do the splits like Ed. So you can see the screen up on top, up here, and then, of course, down here. And then hopefully we've got, good audio quality. So I'll try that real quick. And then we'll just do a couple things, and Ed and I will go back and forth and take it from there. He's got a Phantom in front of him. I've got a Jupiter X. But, yeah, it's been a long process. And one of the things that we'd figured out as I was set up, but the USB 3 cable that goes from the switcher into the computer was not a super speed cable like what I thought it was. So it kept freezing. Each time we would try this, I would lock up. And that's why I was using just a regular FaceTime camera that was in the computer and things. But now we're set up. We tested this last night. We were on for over an hour going through things, and it seems to be very, very stable. And I hope it improves the experience that everybody's having, that you can see a little bit more, and now you can hear from both of us in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Scott. We can actually do a lot more. I'm using OBS, so I got to probably make one more scene in here so it can be Scott and I in the middle. If you guys will hold on, we'll just, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. I think I can do it right now for you. Let me see. I'm going to call it Ed Scott split screen. Yeah, so we can have that for you. And we're just going to make this a little bit more fun and just going. So you guys hold on with me. I'm going to make some adjustments here. I think I can do it. Let's see.
the chat. Unfortunately, the computer's like half a mile away. So give me a second while I go look at that.
It's all good, Scott. I think you're good. And I am adjusting, make some adjustments for everybody live so you can kind of see this. And do. All right, look at this. We're getting it in there. And this is pretty cool, everybody. While you're getting your tasty beverage, whatever you want to drink, and just kind of hang out, we are getting this set for all of you guys. I'm really excited about this. So every episode, we're just trying to improve and do cool stuff. So
make it cooler. Yeah,
make it cooler. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. So now I'll be able to, and Scott and I will be able to, we'll have our main scene, which will have me in it, and then Scott's on the smaller, and then Scott will have his own screen, and then when we're both talking, you can see both of us on there. We can kind of go over some stuff. And anyway, we're just working on some fun stuff. So, and then I just got a new monitor here that I paid for with my own lunch money, with my own money. So, go ahead.
Tell them the story about that whole thing. You talking about the 43 inch?
Yeah, So check this out. We're such nerds, and this wasn't really intentional, but Scott, or planned. But Scott went ahead, and he's, I encouraged him to get a secondary monitor so he can actually see what's going on, real nice and big for him, rather than just using a computer screen. And then the monitor he uses more for work stuff, but so a screen. So Scott got this. He decided on to buy this Toshiba 43-inch 4K. And, so he ordered it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm redoing stuff here, just trying to just bump everything up for all of us that we're doing this. And turns out I ended up buying the exact same TV, so.
It's a great price for a 43-inch. And I was like, that would be perfect. Because right now, the monitor that I check the VR feed, in other words, which camera I'm on and everything else, is to my right. So I have to constantly look like this to see if I'm on the right thing. And it's like, it wasn't ideal, and it's too small to go across the room. So I'm like, 43 inches, great price. It's small. It's only 24 inches tall. It's 30 wide. This is perfect. And then it was just funny. Ed's like, I got a TV too.
Yeah. And so it turns out we got the same TV. And I'm going to show you, I'm hooking up the iPad, which that's what I'll probably do now that I'm figuring out how to capture Scott over here. And I'm just kind of sharing this stuff because, I feel like we're just having just a good old time. Oops, hold on. I want you guys to see this. This is kind of funny. So I'm kind of over the top right now. Yeah, probably. And so check this out. I'll switch to this screen. So right now, this is from my iPad. So I have a computer, and then I have another monitor, a 24-inch, so we can kind of see I can monitor what all the cameras are doing. And then here's the big 43-inch 4K, so I can actually watch the chat and see it. And then I have my other camera here, which shows me exactly, my other TV, which shows me exactly what's going out. So that's kind of a little hint into my kind of crazy world here, but it's totally fun. So anyway, that's what we're kind of working on right now. We're just working on how to make this. I just showed them a little bit of what the studio looks like where I'm sitting, and
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. Cool, because sometimes when Ed goes to a different screen, like a computer screen or something, and I'm monitoring on Facebook, it just goes paused, and I don't see anything. So I try to watch the YouTube video, but the YouTube video delay is so far behind that it's hard to keep up. So I could actually see that.
Yes, because I did it from the iPad, that one, because I'm capturing your feed. OBS had a good upgrade just recently, so we upgraded as well. And we're going to try something else. First off, let's say hi to the chat. I know we caught the initial guys that came in. I see Michael Henderson. It's good to see you. And I can actually, with this TV, I can actually see. I can actually see what's going on, which is great. So that's awesome. Let's see. Let me catch up. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Funky Jimapow. Hi there. Roland Fantom G8 user in the UK. Awesome. We still love the Phantom Gs. I was actually using my Phantom G the other day, Scott. I forget why. I had to do some tracks or something. I forgot why. But I pulled out the G8 and the G7 actually, and it sounded great. I was having a great time with it. Let's see. Robert St. John, don't be jealous. just use your credit card. That's okay.
Hey, Robert St. John, I caught your step edit video for the Jupiter XM. That was fantastic. We got to get your voice in there.
Actually, yeah.
Got to record your voice because that would take it to the next level.
Yeah. And let's see. Marktronics already likes it. Yeah, Scott's on the Jupiter. It sounds great. We have it going through the system real nice and beefy for you guys. So that's awesome. What? Oh, look at that. Feels like an old Scott Berry Craft Jupiter video. Yeah, there you go. Robert says no lag time between us, which is great. Yeah, it's feeling great. Michael says, Ed, you are my inspiration for Gibraltar 3-tier keyboard stand. Yay! Hey, man, just keep on playing. If that stand helps you, go for it. Kirill says, hi, everyone. Hey, how are you? See, Funky, I see Robin. Okay, we're going to do a test here, and I need somebody to do this for me. We're going to try this, and here's what we're going to try. And let me throw I'm going to make this smaller. We're going to try and take a call simultaneously. What? Yes, we are. We're going to try and take a phone call because I think I worked it out. And here's the good thing. This means you guys and gals, if there's any ladies on here, can actually call in. What? So this is a good and a bad thing. So don't make it a bad thing. If you don't dig this, then don't do it. Oh wait,
Getting it too. It's ringing on my phone.
Not yet, Robin. We're gonna try this way first. Robin was calling. Hold on, Robin. Not yet. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put up the Google phone number, and this only works when I have it on, so it's on right now. Somebody give me a call, give us a call, and let's see if this works. It might work, it might not work. I'm kind of testing to see if you can hear us and we can hear you simultaneously. Also, just like the radio stations, turn down your volume so that way we don't hear that pitch shift, that shift in the time. All right, here we go. Go ahead, somebody give us a call now, and let's see if we can get that. And I'm going to try and answer the phone call and see if we can get it. I think I'm just having fun. This is just fun. And we're going to get to keyboard stuff. But this is just kind of a fun way to kind of figure out if we got this all working. And I think we do. So waiting to see if someone can give us a call at this number. And this is, I think, the dial 1 if you're in the U.S. Oh, okay, we got a call.
Call from.
Okay, I got it.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh, wait. Do I accept?
To accept, press 1.
Where's 1? Where's 1? Okay, there's 1. Hello, you're on the air with Synth Talk with Ed and Scott. Who is this, please? Is there someone there?
It's me, Robin.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
Good.
Bring that audio up.
I'll try and bring his audio up, but I might not be able to. Okay, so Robin, just let our audience know where are you calling from, and I'm going to see if I can adjust your audio and bring you up louder. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit.
Right north of Canada. That's probably why the audio is a little quieter. I'm so far away.
So far away. And here, I'm going to try and bring you in. Yeah. So this is cool. So North Canada. That's awesome. And you're our first caller. We got you going, and I'm going to see if I can adjust this further in the future. Just kind of get it going. And this is a way, Robin, we're going to go ahead and try and bring people into our show and kind of have some fun with them.
Because everybody hates typing. It's a lot easier to speak.
Yeah, so we're just trying to make that. So can you hear both myself and Scott pretty easy?
Yeah, I can hear you both same volume.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so I just got to figure out how to increase your volume, and we might have to just make some adjustments, but it's cool. Hey, while we have you here, do you have any questions or comments about the Fantom or the Jupiter X that we can kind of show you? And as you see, we're both ready and able to show you either way. It's pretty cool.
You know what? I don't have any questions at this time. You guys have been answering a lot of my questions over the last couple weeks, but just having fun going through each of the scenes and playing around with the 4 parts and different tones that are doing different things. That was a great step edit video that sorry, I forget the guy's name, but
Robert St. John.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that was watched that this morning. I think it was 45 minutes old when it came on, so that was good. And yeah, next thing I want to do is play around with the sequencer.
Awesome. Hey, we said at the same time.
I was gonna say, Robin, do you have any favorite scenes that you go to?
Yeah, I like the I think it's the 80 split.
Oh,
That's one of my favorite scenes. It's set up kind of the way I would play with it. I've actually, in fact, I've edited that one. I've taken it further and added another part so that there's actually a pulsating sound going along the same time as the bass line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
To help fill it up, and then I changed to a different pad on the right side of the keyboard, and yeah, having fun with that scene. That's probably my favorite scene at the moment.
Well, cool.
Nice.
Hey, Scott, can you pull up that scene? And I know Robert's made. I know that Robin's made some edits, but Scott's gonna pull that up, and then I'll give Scott, and let's see if he can do it. Hey, all right, Robin, we'll let you go. And man, it's so good to hear your voice. And just keep on supporting. We're gonna keep on supporting you. And as we keep on doing this, we're gonna go deeper into the Jupiter X and into the Fantom. And now with this new setup, new and improved, we're able to help hopefully even more for all of you out there.
Well, I'm sure I can say for every other Roland customer out there, we really appreciate what you and Scott are doing. So thanks, guys. Keep it going.
Hey, thank you, brother. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Right, bye.
Awesome. That's a great call from Robin. That's neat. And a shout out to Robert St. John for making that video. And Scott, are you ready to make some noise a little bit? Let's see what exactly Robin was talking about. All right, off to you, Scott.
Cool one.
All right, that is a cool one. Okay, I'm going to put us back both on here, so the split screen. All right, let's answer some questions. You know, like I said, let's see here. Let me check over here. Yeah, Nico, I think you guys can call from Holland. So I think this is a worldwide number since it's internet based, and you just for the U.S. I believe you have to put 1 and then the area code and the number. So you can try that. Hello there, Graham. Graham says, what's cool about the Fantom? Okay, what's cool about the Fantom? All right, so let's talk about that. That's actually a good question on there. What's cool about the Fantom? And let me go ahead, switch to my screen, to this screen, and then I'll go ahead and pull up the Fantom so you guys can see that as well in here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's go ahead and bring that in here. So what's cool about the Fantom? So there's a lot of different things going on inside the Fantom. So one cool thing right away, I love the touchscreen. I love how many sounds that are available in the Fantom. And Scott, you know, after we download all 15 EXZ expansion boards, virtual expansion boards that are for free, by the way, those are for free. You can actually go in here and you have, what was it, Scott? It was over 8,000 sounds.
8,663 tones or something. We went through a count one time, but definitely over 8,000.
Yeah, it got to a point to where it's just like it's over 8. I'm just like, you know what? It's over 8,000 sounds. Plus, that's not even counting that we can go ahead and do a bunch of editing in there. So that's what's something that's totally cool about the Fantom. Another thing is that the Fantom will use USB. It's USB audio and MIDI. USB audio and MIDI. So that means we can actually record the Fantom audio and MIDI through USB through to your favorite digital audio workstation, such as Apple Logic, which Apple worked with Roland a great deal in DAW control. We did a video episode, Scott, right, on Ableton Live. We got that working on audio and MIDI. There's so many DAWs we can't show them all, so I just tried to show. I might show it. I think we might show at some point maybe the PreSonus Studio One. So I just got to get that set up. But that's another, for me, that's a cool thing. So here's what that means. We can go ahead and make a sequence of 16 tracks, MIDI tracks, and then over USB, we can actually go ahead and play them, record them into your DAW simultaneously. 16. That's huge. And don't forget, Scott, can we record MIDI at the same time as we're doing all that audio?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Awesome. So we can record 16 stereo audio tracks over USB into your DAW from the Fantom, and then simultaneously record the 16 MIDIs. So that's, for me, that's huge. And not to mention the tones, and then also just the V piano. Oh my God, we're adding Supernatural's tones are starting to add it as we do new OS updates. There's more OS updates that as soon as they are legal to talk about, we will scream from the mountaintops with you to talk about them, because there's
things that are going to be coming and changing. So, but yeah, we're getting really excited with seeing where things are going. And on a side note, on the opposite side, when Ed was talking about the 16 individual stereo outs, the Jupiter X can do 5 outs. So each part in a scene, you can layer up 4 tones and a drum. Those can also go out through USB individually and record MIDI at the same time.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of difference, and it's the Fantom and the FA. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like, how should I say, Scott? It's like the cars have a Chevy Camaro, which is killer, but which is like the FA. But then you have the Chevy Corvette, which is, so that's kind of how I would think of it, in there. So it's pretty cool. So for me, Graham, the ability to record all that audio MIDI over USB is just phenomenal. That's great. And then and Scott, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting a lot. I'm not even saying
Fantom? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Got all those mentions, you got all those tones, you've got the sequencer, you've got sampling capabilities, just the amount of power, being able to layer very quickly. It's a great piece. And here's the cool thing. Already as it sits, it's awesome, but it's growing. So there's going to be a lot more coming for it, a lot more expansions and things like that. So it's really, really awesome to see this.
Okay, cool. So Graham, just stay with us. And if you guys don't already know, you can go to Roland's Product Support on YouTube. Look up YouTube, Roland Product Support. And if you go to the playlist section, because I know there's a ton of videos, you can go through there and you can go ahead. And I think on the Fantom currently there's 29 videos. And don't worry, we are creating more content. Not the great thing. The interesting thing about what's going on with all of us throughout the world is I know a lot of us product specialists throughout the world, we're busier than ever. We're super busy. So I've been live streaming since this morning to different countries and doing things, and Scott and I have this, and then after we get done with this, we have another session we have to do. So it's been busy, but it's not a complaint. It's just kind of an interesting, like, whoa, we're even busier since we're not actually in the stores. But I kind of like it, Scott. It's like we can really interact with you quickly and more often, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's great because the thing is that you could have just stumbled upon something that you're trying to figure out, and boom, you're sitting in the chat and you can ask it, hey, I've got a Fantom and I'm trying to do this. Can you help me? And we can walk through it and try to figure it out together, because some of the stuff we'll go over and we'll discover on our own as we're digging deeper. It's like I'm still digging deeper all the time, finding new things in the Fantom, finding new things in the Jupiter. But sometimes we're not aware of something because you're doing it different or whatever, and then that just sharpens us. So it's just an awesome interaction and experience for us as well as for hopefully for you.
Yeah, okay, so let's go back. Tomas says it wasn't great to be able to split pressed keys by pitch into zones with different sounds to get better sounds of brass and string ensemble. Fantom G could do this with a brass section. Oh, I probably lost a little bit of translation. I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about how we could go ahead and. I need that stream deck, Scott. So I think you're talking how you could go into the Fantom G with some of the supernatural brass, and you could go ahead and say like I have tenor saxophone, alto saxophone, and a trumpet. If I pressed it, it would actually, instead of playing them all simultaneously, stack, 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 it would actually go ahead and voice them in that way. Well, there's a lot of cool things coming for Fantom in the supernatural. So there's a lot of great stuff. So just hold tight. We are actually working on a lot of neat things there. Enzo, shout out to Enzo. How are you? Enzo asks, how about the vocoder? I spent some time with Fantom's vocoder this week, but that's something each X and Fantom have, so that might be a cool topic. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll talk about that. Let me see. I could probably get that. I have used. I know I've used it on the Fantom, the vocoder. I don't. Did we cover that a little bit in the X, Scott? I can't remember.
No, not at all.
Okay. So that'll be cool. We'll cover the vocoder, and I just got to grab a vocoder. But the tough thing for me in the vocoder in this is that I don't want you to hear. Well, I just turned it down. I just turned down my vocal mic here, and that way, yeah, then I could just mute it. So that way you don't hear me going, because it'll sound all cool, and then you hear me going So So anyway, that's cool. Let's see. So yeah,
that is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. Oh, what? Hearing all the yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that today. Maybe I'll see if I can. I'll grab a headset mic and maybe do the Fantom that way. That's cool. Let's see here. So thank you, Enzo. We'll do that. Michael Henderson was saying, yeah, not well made. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there. Maybe you're talking about the supernatural brass, but don't worry, more updates are coming. And just as a reminder to everybody, as we're working on this and updates are being released, I don't think they cost. I think they're free. They're usually free. So that's something that's cool in there. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at any company or anything like that, once they've done the product, you either accept it as it is and move on. With companies like us, we're constantly improving it. And during the support of its life and even past, there'll be updates and upgrades and everything else. I mean, that's stuff that we just do. We don't have to do it. Keep that in mind. But we do, and there's a upper level that the Fantom and the Jupiters and everything else is going to get to, and it's way up there. So we've got a lot of things planned and a lot of things coming.
Yeah. So, and I see Demopix Studio. He says shifting filter live. The Fantom is so hot it's on fire. Okay, so many features members. Okay. All right. So yeah, we can show the shifting the filter live just by either touching the screen touching the screen or actually going into the filter section right there. We can actually do that live. The difficulty can be sometimes in this format is to show it because I have to have that running through a separate audio output, and I'll figure that out. See, the thing is sometimes some of that is difficult to show because of what we have here. Like it is setting it up for you guys, but we'll figure that out. And I think, Scott, do you possibly think about if you have anything like a filter one you can show on the Jupiter X, real quick? Just think.
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
and just to sweep it and see how it sounds.
Yeah, I'm sweeping over you. I'm gonna go see if I can find. I'll go grab for the vocoder, something so I can do something. Here, go ahead, Scott.
This is just the first scene that shows up in the Jupiter X as of version 1.20. It's JP King brass, and I'll just go through it, and I mean, I think it sounds great. But we'll pull that filter down.
Ooh, that was scary, Scott. That was awesome. Okay.
So I just give you a little bit. I mean, that's just one Jupiter sound. I'm just messing with the cutoff and the resonance, not doing much more. But I think you can hear an idea that the range is really good, and it's really smooth. You know. How you doing, Mr. Ed?
You see me? I'm trying to plug in this real quick without putting my big head in the shot. So
Good luck with that. I'll just play around. Let's just play
yeah, go for it.
through scenes and play whatever comes to mind.
And Mr. Scott Berry.
All right, what's next? So this one, we just have a lead sound. Let's try this one. Stacked bass. Got some nice percussion in that. What else we got? This one.
Test 1 2.
That one had some cool little extra things that would pop in. That one's cool. I like that one.
Hey Scott, on that one before, oh, you already moved it. On that one, it sounded like it was like what was almost sounded like a wood block kind of going on there.
Well, it's very velocity sensitive, so
Yeah.
hitting it, but hear that other stuff that's coming in on the key off. What's in those parts? It's only two parts as a layer, but the scene, just so everybody knows, is this one, and this is in the Jupiter X right now, 105. But it's got some great stuff when you start moving that extra things that were coming in. Awesome sound. I mean, just very inspiring.
Absolutely, and it's sounding actually pretty good going over this stream, which is always a tough thing. Okay, let's get back to I'll answer a couple questions real fast. Let me see, and we're getting to all you guys, so feel free to ask questions. We're getting to it. Let's see. And just so you know, we're going to show the vocoder in a little bit. I'm trying to get it over here. All right, great. Hold on one second. Let's see. Christian asks, is some edit page using the pads and the screen coming for the groups on the new Phantom? It's really hard to change things in the groups. At the moment, it's easier to initialize the groups and start again. Let me see if I make sure I understand the question. Okay. So can we edit using the pads and the screen coming for the groups on it? I'm trying to understand just real quick because okay. So if I wanted to edit the Phantom, I could go into here, and which is great. Go ahead if I want to edit, and the way to edit on the Phantom is I could just choose whatever, and I'll just use this single tone play. And I can go in if I wanted to jump over here. I could easily just hold down Shift, and I can go inside, and I get into the screen there. And this is editing the zones at the zone level, so we can actually go into here and do whatever kind of editing. There's a lot of things we can do in here. If I wanted to edit within the tone, first off, let's look. We can go ahead and hit Zone View, and this is a great area where we can see 1 tone, 4 tones, 8 tones, or all 16 if we wanted to do some quick edits. But notice right on the top, we actually have different levels and pannings, octave and all that stuff. Turn on MFX, arpeggiators, IF. You see a lot of options. And then also don't forget here, depending on what the tone that's in there, it has different things you can edit as well. So that's something that's real cool.
Also, don't forget that in the pad mode, you can get the partials and things if you're editing. So I guess that might be what he's asking.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at that, Scott. That's a great point. So I'll just choose like just a string. Make sure we can hear. Hold on, let me adjust my volume on this guy. Okay, great. So if I wanted to, what Scott was saying, if I wanted to go and edit that tone, I could go ahead and hit Menu and Tone Edit. Real quick, I did it real fast. So Menu, and you see it comes up on the screen, Tone Edit. So I can just hit Tone Edit, and here I can actually go into here and start editing. That's kind of a cool, nice way. Let's go ahead and do another one. If I wanted to choose another sound, let's do a synth-oriented sound, and that's fine. All right, same thing, Menu, Tone Edit, and I can edit on the screen here. And what Scott was saying earlier, if we were going into edit, and I could use touch the screen, or I could use this. If I wanted to edit the partials, what I'm working on, because each tone inside the Fantom, and let me switch it to Pro so we can see this a little bit differently. Each edit inside the Fantom, we can have up to 2 partials, so 2 waveforms. So there's actually up to 8 you can have. You can either touch it on the screen, you can use the cursors to move around, but if you wanted to turn on partials or turn off what you're editing, inside the pad mode, if I hit pad mode, I can actually come into here and I can hit number 3 either on the pad or right here. And then now, check this out. I can actually turn on and off different waveforms in that particular tone. And then if there's one in particular I want to edit, say number 3, I can go ahead and say, that's the one I'm going to edit. So I think I'm hoping that's what you're asking right there. That's a way we can do that. Any input, Scott?
No, I mean, I think that's good than having to go into the screen, because when you're sound designing, you're going through the individual partials and things like that, it's a little bit easier to go through the pads. Either way, whatever works best for your workflow, you'll just get used to the more that you do it. But the pads, also working with the pattern sequencer to select clips or change rows or things like that, have just been a nice addition than just trying to do everything on the screen, being able to go into it. So that's what I can think of, unless it's, I mean, we've also got the keyboard switch groups that are in the past. We've gone over that. So yeah, there was one thing that Nick had asked, and I'll talk about it briefly.
Oh, please.
He was asking about saving the audio input. So when you go into a scene and you select audio input for an external device that's coming in, whether if it's, your phone or whatever audio coming in, let's say it's another keyboard or something, it doesn't save in the scene. Again, this is something that we've requested, so hopefully we'll see it in an update, but I haven't been able to figure out a way to save that audio in setup. But it also depends on what you're doing. I know Ed and I have been playing with the vocoder stuff with the mic in switch, and I think that might save in a system setting or a scene setting. So it could shut down that way and stay on.
Yeah, so we're like I said, we are listening. Everything that you guys are asking for, we are listening at Roland, so that's something that's totally cool that we are doing. Let me go ahead and see here. Lord Tunes Piano Reviewer asks, hold on, wait a minute. Where you are? Let's see. Can anybody answer me this? With the exclamation point. Is the Roland Jupiter X released? And yes. The short answer is yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go ahead, Scott.
Available for pre-order as of, I think, September or even January. but it's now starting to show up in stores. We've been seeing several people online in Facebook and things that are receiving theirs, and just the excitement and the joy has been awesome. Nick is one of those people. Congratulations, Nick, on your Jupiter X, and also too the videos that he's posting on Facebook of him just singing and playing. You got a great voice, man.
Yeah.
They're really, really cool.
And I think also Robin already received in Canada his Jupiter X. So, yes, they are going out. Keep in mind we are going through a global pandemic, so shipping is a little bit more difficult right now. But the official word is, yes, Jupiter X is released. So just as a FYI, that's cool. Let me see. Just see. Oh, okay. Here's Thomas asks, does the sample usage prolong Phantom booting time because of the sample loading? I haven't tried it. I would probably want to say yes, but I haven't tested that as much. That's something we'll have to test on there. It just depends. If you're loading up samples, yeah, the obvious answer would be yes. But a lot of the Phantom isn't necessarily the engine. Isn't samples. The Phantom actually starts pretty quick. Here, I'll show you right now. Let's go ahead
and you'll notice that if you're going to turn off the power and turn it back on,
yeah,
it comes up quick, and then you'll see the sample pad still loading their thing, so it doesn't stop the keyboard. And I've got keyboards that I can go make a pot of coffee.
Oh yeah. Here, Scott, put your phone on your timer real quick, and let's just see.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep, and I'm going to turn off the Phantom.
Timer.
Okay.
Actually, here.
Okay.
And I want stopwatch. Okay, ready?
Ready? Okay, tell me when.
And 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You're supposed to say go. Say go.
Okay, hold on. Let me reset. Okay, on the count of 3, I'll say go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, I just turned it on. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. And let me move it to this screen for you guys. Oh, and you just got a message, Scott. There we go. We're getting there. Just so you guys can see. By the way, I hope everybody's loving this. I'm loving this new format that we're kind of doing. This is fun. And I'm just going to press the keys so we can hear when it's active. It's going through the cool thing. And there it is. And stop when you hear a noise.
All right, 42 seconds is what I got here, and I think I started probably about 3 seconds or 4 seconds quicker than Ed hit.
So that's
42 seconds.
So that's fine. Let's just say it's about 45 seconds. 45 seconds.
I've got other keyboards here that take close to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
To load.
So it's all good. We're not throwing stones. It is what it is. So that's kind of a cool thing in there. Let's answer some more questions. Gotta have some more fun. Let's see here. Let's see. Can anybody answer me? Yeah, we already answered that. Thank Robert St. John for the assist there. Let's see. You can start using Phantom while it loads samples. That's correct. You can start using Phantom while it's loading samples. That's correct. Lord Tunes Piano River, what a weird release from Roland. No announcements or nothing. That's how you lose money, Roland. Actually, Roland has announced that the Jupiter X is available. The Jupiter X is available. We've been announcing it here, and then I know all the other Rolands throughout the world have been announcing. Once again, sir, we are going through a global pandemic, so we're trying to do the best we can. So, just bear with us in there. This is an interesting time, to say the least, for all of us worldwide. So, we're trying. Everybody's trying. So, Scott, you just went dark there. I don't know why you just went dark.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so you're still there though. You're still there, but you just went dark in the screen. All right, so let me see here. So just bear with us. Roland is trying. Obviously, we don't want to lose money, but we want to make the best machines possible. Okay. Let's see. So Bella said, "Is it bad that I want to sell my XM and get the X now after that demonstration?" Hey man, get what makes you happy. That's shout out to Scott on that one. That's cool. Oh, let me see here. Scott, I'm gonna ask you this. Scott! Exclamation point. When will we be able to share Jupiter X and XM tones, Scott? When?
We could share the tones if there's encore at any time.
Yes.
Yeah, so that can cross over to the Phantom and the Jupiter. Scenes and things like that at this time would be full backups.
So let me
But
just shorten what Scott said. You can share Jupiter X and XM tones now. So yeah, you can share them. But then Scott went to further say about if it's Zen Core, you can actually share that amongst the Phantom and Jupiter X and XM, and soon others, which we will announce in the future. Sorry, Scott. Oh, your video came back. You look better now. I don't know what just happened there.
it didn't drop on this end, so I don't know if that was your feed.
Might have been me. Okay, let's see. Nico said, I put a question a little while ago in the chat. No worries, but maybe you didn't see it.
Yeah, that was about the audio end.
Okay, cool. He got that. Yeah. Robin, keep them both. Robin's like, keep them both. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Editing the groups. I'm trying to just remember. What do we call groups? Are you talking about the scenes? I think we showed that, Christian. So you can go in there and editing the scenes, and I think I showed that. Scott got the audio in part, and like I said, we're just kind of having some fun here.
Groups could be keyboard switch groups. Groups could be grouping and things in the past.
I think Christian. Well, because he says he's asking about editing groups that make up songs. I know I got confused because we refer to it as scenes. Everything is in scenes inside the Phantom. In the previous Phantoms and other Rolands, you would have a patch mode or a performance mode or a single mode or a live mode or a studio mode. But in this Phantom, everything is a scene. Whether you're using one tone or a multitude of tones, internal or external, or that same scene can also be used for creating a sequence. So I think that's where I got confused. So yeah, the Phantom works in a scene, just FYI.
If you read back, it sounds like he's talking about grouping for pattern sequencer to make a song, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Is that?
I can't.
I'm sorry, I lost you, Scott. Say it again.
I can't see it from here. Whatever his question was, it sounded like it was more grouping in the pattern sequencer to make a song. How do you group the patterns together?
Oh, okay. Okay, we did cover that. We did have a sequence on there. Let me see. All right, so let me go through here and bring that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to move. Give me 1 second, little bit. I am gonna move that over to the other side, I think. Give me 1 second, guys, and we're going to making some stuff. I'm gonna have to move that picture in picture. I'm gonna move it to the other sides. There we go. Look, woo! There you go, Scott. There. That way, we are good. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now we can both play on the screen. Awesome. So, okay, so you wanted to know how to kind of adjust the groupings. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let me see. I'll do it here. All right. So on the groupings, say if we wanted to edit the groupings, let me take something that's already here. That's what hits hard. And you gotta love those that surprise you. Boom. Okay, so I have that right there. I have that one right there, and if I wanted to, I can go into the pattern mode so we can see what we're looking at right there. Now, when I think maybe when Christian is talking about editing the groupings, so after we have a grouping right here, so I'll set the grouping, and there are already some set in here. I think you would go into the group here, and this is where you would kind of go in and edit, like how you want them to play. You know, so if we wanted to, we can go in there, and this one might be.
Yeah, and before that, you've even got the grouping of which patterns that you're choosing to create that group, and then the next scene that you were in is how long do they play.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let me take a look at the groupings real quick, and there's already some built in here, and let me just take a peek. Oh, they're not groupings yet. Hold on, okay. Oh, there isn't any groupings yet. Okay, that's good. So let's go ahead and just take, I started off in the pattern mode right here. So pattern, and as I takes that one, So I'm going to choose these. If I press and hold the patterns here that are on standby, press and hold, but I don't have to hit hard. Just put a little bit of pressure, just a little bit, and they totally blacken. So that means they are muted. So don't have to hit it hard. So now if I press play, only these will play. Okay, and I accidentally hit that one, so that's fine. We'll leave that there.
Set up a group with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so now we can go into here and we can say grouping, and then we can set those 3 patterns as the grouping. And yeah, that's cool. And I might rename this one just so I see something's there. I might clear all and just might call this, let's just call this intro. Okay, that's fine. Intro, that's fine. Okay, great. So we can see something there. Great. So I have that, and just make sure I reset it, make sure it's all good. It's set. And then I would exit out of here, and I would go into group. All right, so now here's where I can tell it how long I want it to play on that particular grouping. So if I press play, and you hear it's only playing 1 measure. But you see that this one, I could actually, if I wanted to go in, and it's actually a 4-measure phrase, those patterns. So I can come into here and have it go.
And you can even increase it to 8 if you wanted to. So you have a lot of flexibility in the screen.
Yeah. So I can say, all right, go ahead. And there we go. Okay, and that was the loop right there. So I told it. And as Scott is saying, if we wanted to, we can go ahead and increase it and just tell it how long we want that to go in there. Also, on the same account, we can go into utility and we can export those or initialize them if we didn't like that particular grouping. So probably in here. Another thing we might want to check out, and I think we're going to do this in the future, is we're going to talk about, Scott, what's our new little app that we can use where you can go ahead and do songwriting that we're giving away?
ZenBeats. ZenBeats is free right now on iOS and Android devices, where you can get the entire program. So you could do audio loops in there. You can do MIDI information. And Mark Watson, our colleague and great friend, has a small video on where he used ZenBeats with the Jupiter XM to use as a controller as he went in. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of integration. We're going to see more and more integration between ZenBeats, the app, and the keyboards.
Yeah, so that's coming. I know we're going to show some more of that as well. So that's kind of cool on there. Let me see. And I'm sorry if we're taking a little bit on the questions. We're trying to get everybody, so we're getting.
Let me get one real quick.
Oh, please.
Lord Tunes. Let me see. He was asking about what's the difference between the Phantom and the Jupiter? Like, if the Phantom can do everything the Jupiter is, what's the point of the Jupiter? I mean, one of the things with the Jupiter X, well, you got price point for one. But the other thing, too, is all these controls that are sitting here and the way that it's set up to look like, you know, a Jupiter 8. It does its own thing. The iArpeggiator right now is strictly Jupiter X and Jupiter XM. And to me, I find that extremely inspiring to start an idea or play with an idea or something like that. But to have the onboard controls like this, which I grew up with, which is so familiar to me, is a completely different experience than the Phantom. And the Phantom is an amazing piece, but it's a workstation. I expect to have great pianos and more realistic strings and things like that in there than I would with something like this. However, they did put an RD piano model in here. We do have the Zencore engine, which also shares with the Phantom, so those can interchange. So it really comes down to a little bit of a different interface. Plus, this is only 61 keys. Whereas the Phantoms, there's a 76 key and an 88. But to me, they're two different instruments, in my opinion, and especially how I go after them and attack them when I play. I come up with different things, and that's what I like about having the different products.
Yeah, so yeah, they are actually different. So yeah, well, the Phantom has a full on, as you know, Scott, full on sequencer. That's all going, and then they do share. They do share, but it's not really one synth versus workstation. The USB audio to MIDI, but it's just the way. Also, to me, the Jupiter X has that old school, the vintage synth modeling in there, and then
that's what it got the models, which
Yeah.
is the analog behavior modeling. So that's something that the Phantom doesn't have at this time.
I think the engineers probably could have just released the Jupiter X with just those models and just called it a day for a lot of things, but they gave you a lot more under the hood. So but the Phantom has the V piano engine, whereas the Jupiter X does not. Phantom plays back samples, Jupiter X does not. And these aren't negatives of the Jupiter X, but we just got to think what is each individual instrument meant to do. So like a Phantom is a full-on workstation production stuff, and it has some good synth stuff, but the modeling of the Jupiter X will kind of probably outshine it, as far as getting the accuracy of some of the vintage stuff.
Different products for different things. The Jupiter X can layer up to 4 sounds or 4 tones. The Phantom can do 16. So it's different products, different price points, different things.
Okay. Kirill has, he says, guys, I have an issue here. How to record rhythm pattern movements to the sequencer. Let's say to automate switch from verse to fill and verse 2 during the scenes clip play. I haven't tried that. Probably what I would do is go ahead and record each one of those inside. I don't think you can automate it at this time. I not that I've ever heard on there. Like
MIDI. We're talking about the Phantom, right?
I think we're talking about the Phantom. Yeah. So I think
that's what a song is for, and that's what the grouping's for.
Yeah.
Is that it for you. Now, if you want to do it manually, then it would be in the variation play where you can do the rows, but you would have to set up your sequence so that everything's in a perfect row, and you just go A and then C and then B and then D to do that.
But another way you could do it is just if you hook up your Phantom to the DAW and you're just having the song play. I guess you would do it in the song play, kind of where you do it. But I would probably record those movements as audio right into the DAW. That's another way you could do it and just trigger it that way. So that's another workaround. I don't think because the Phantom sequencer is set up in pattern mode. So if you wanted like the verse 1 of the rhythm pattern movements, you would have to do a pattern for verse 1. If you wanted like that fill and stuff. So I would suggest the workaround for me would be to record it as audio inside a DAW. That's probably how I would go on there.
Or if you're using something like Ableton, you don't have the DAW control, but you could record your tracks as clips.
Yeah.
And you'd be doing the same thing and then automate those, I guess.
Yeah, that could probably do it. Okay, let's see here. Marktronic says something on back order, probably his Phantom, but they are on there. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
This Jupiter, I think he's waiting for.
Okay, the Jupiter. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, man, it just jumped on all this stuff. Okay, Marktronics, hold tight, hold tight. May is here, so May is here, so that's cool. Lord Tunes, design of the Phantom needs some work. They should have kept the Z series design and modernized it. It would have been so dope. But of course, it's Roland. Not a surprise. Lord Tunes, be nice, dude. Don't be so mean. There's a lot of people working on this, and we're always trying to keep on coming up with new stuff and keep on improving. Okay. One thing about our founder, Mr. Kakahashi, that I always enjoyed is Mr. Kakahashi said, Roland always moves forward, never back. And so we're trying to evolve and come up with things. Now, unfortunately, on the Phantom G, it just where the sounds were at that, we've definitely moved on. Remember, Phantom G was a 2008. You even said it. 2008 design. The Phantom released in 2019. So we're talking over 10 years. So it's going to be in there. And there's certain features of every synthesizer, no matter make or model, that are people just miss or things. It's just a part of the evolving process of synthesis.
And things are different. In the Phantom G, you had the 3 zones. You had single, you had live set, you had studio set. The live set only allowed eight parts to be layered. Yeah. Now, it was seamless between it because it was the 8 parts, whereas this Phantom, it's 16 and then can be brought over. The difference is, the way to explain it is that in the Phantom G and the engineering, I'm going to go a little nerd here, they took all 16 parts that could be made up for that live set, but you only see 8 of them. And the reason why is to keep that seamless seamless sound going over, it had to be split like that. so that 8 could hold while the other 8 come in.
Yeah.
With this Phantom, it's basically there's 2 Phantoms in there, so that 16 can hold while the next 16 come in. So that's part of the difference and the evolution of the products.
Yeah. So we're always trying to figure out stuff. Let's see. How do you share out of a X or XM? Oh, okay. I think you're talking about tones. Scott, I think, did we do a video on that? There might be a video on that, on how to share tones from an X to an XM. I think I can't.
No, I haven't done it yet. I mean, obviously you can import the tones, but I'm pretty sure you can do a backup from one into the other, because I think we've done it before, but I have to check.
Why don't you check on that? You can just keep your front screen. Check on that and see. You can bring up, unless you want to bring up that screen.
Well, no, it's not the screen. I mean, I can bring up the screen. We go into menu. It'd be in a utility function.
Here, back up from the top. So Masingon can kind of see. So just talk us through it, Scott, please.
All right. So how you would do things is you would go into menu, and then you would go down to utility. Utility functions are going to be all things like factory reset, backup, restore, import tones. So if you're just importing a tone from a backup or a Zencore pack or even a Phantom or something, the import tone is set up for Zencore things. The other things here, user pattern export, factory reset, formatting USB. So what I would have to do is I'd have to do a backup on the X and then take that thumb drive over to an XM and restore it. And it should move everything over. I just haven't had a chance to do it. My XM is somewhere else. It's in this room somewhere.
No, don't say that. That's so hilarious. It's in here somewhere. Somewhere's my.
It is. It's with moving everything around and things like that. You know, it's. I've had to re-gut the room and move stuff. I think it's down here, but I just don't see it right at this moment.
Well, cool. So Bella Lugosi says, I love the new format of the Phantom, and I've owned 4, the original with the floppy disk. Yeah, the original one. It was just called the FA76. There was no 61 or 88. It was just a 76 with a floppy. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yes, edit the groups from patterns. Okay, we kind of nailed it. On that one, or Scott did kind of figure that out. So, yeah, I hope that helped, Christian. But this is something we're gonna go ahead and do on there. And shout out to our brothers at Korg. You know, laugh out loud, Korg forever. Absolutely. You know, all of us are actually buddies. Just so you guys know.
And we use and love other products. We're keyboard first.
Yeah, keyboard players first. So, yeah, shout outs to all of our other synth brothers out there that are doing what they need to do. So that's totally cool. Nothing but love. Let's see here. 80s fan, he says, hi, if you use MIDI via USB, can you still control the JP's arpeggiator from the DAW, or can it be played on the keyboard itself? So let me see that, make sure we understand that. If you use MIDI over USB, can you still control the JP's, so the Jupiter's arpeggiator from the DAW, or can it only be played on the keyboard itself?
It has to see a note on response to trigger, because I could have it on just like this. So I can turn it on and it's not going to do anything until I touch a key. So as long as it's getting that note on, it will. There's also a thing called a remote keyboard switch, which depending on the situation, this works with the MIDI cable. If you have an external board connected, it will act like the keyboard. So in other words, if I have a bunch of parts layered and things like that, on the Jupiter X or XM key bed, you'll hear that layer. But because the parts are divided into MIDI channels, this is MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, or whatever I decide it to be, the external board would only play whatever MIDI channel that it's connected to. So by turning on the remote keyboard switch, it should mimic or mirror what's being played on the keyboard. But the other thing too is that, like I said, it's on. You don't hear anything until I hit a key. And there it is. So it has to receive that note on message for it to at least trigger.
Yeah, so that's cool. All right, so let's see. Nico Vleming says he wanted to say a really good thing you guys are doing, guys. I have connected my Phantom to my montage, and it works flawlessly on my Phantom. I can use the sounds together and save it as a scene. Thank you again for this video. It works for me. Yeah, what Nico was talking about is we actually did Synth Talk on using external, having the Phantom act as a master and control external MIDI instruments, so such as the montage or whatever. And I think in that example, we used a Jupiter XM, which showing that you can go ahead and have your Phantom go ahead and change patches for you, or change tones, change scenes, whatever you want, and then you can save those within the scene of the Phantom. And Nico took the ball and ran with it, and he has now the Phantom changing scenes for him in his, or changing, I'm not sure what the montage calls it, changing sounds or just changing different things in the montage, but through using the scenes of the Phantom. Now, here's why you would do this, and I would encourage all of you, especially once we get out there gigging again and we can go earn a living as a musician. What this will do is that way on the bandstand, rather than you going ahead and having to, like, when they call a song, let me change this sound, this sound, this sound, this sound, you could pre-program it so when you change a scene in the Phantom, you change the scene, it'll change your other keyboards to the exact tones or patches, whatever, that you have predestined. So that's something that's real cool. It's a fun video. Watch that on there, and it'll teach you. So the external, I think it's called external MIDI control, and we used in our example the Jupiter XM, and it can work with multiple keyboards. Because for example, the Phantom actually has 2 MIDI outs in here, 2 MIDI outs, and of course USB. So we could go ahead and change, patches, sound. I think they call it patches in main stage, and an external keyboard simultaneously. So just from the scenes.
Having the 2 MIDI outs is that you could send MIDI channel 1 out of both, but have them go to 2 separately different things.
Yeah.
That's where it starts to expand. So if you got a huge rig or anything like that, technically you almost have 32 MIDI channels depending on how you set it up.
Yep. And Bella Lagosta says, he says, this is my 7th Phantom and favorite. Keep doing what you're doing, Roland. It also has all the downloaded expansions, all 15 free. Those cost money on the X, and the Zencore expansions are great too, plus the outputs. Just a quick reminder, back in the day, Scott, I think when we talked about a lot of the expansion boards for earlier Phantoms and XPs and all that stuff, I think they were about average. The SRJV and the SRX were about $200 US average. And I think when we got into the ARX for the Phantom G, I want to say those were those about $300, I think, US.
Probably. I mean, I know that the SRX, the orchestra one, was close to $300.
Yeah.
I remember, I had, this is before the internet, with some of these.
Yeah.
When I first came out, I remember having to write Roland, and they sent me a CD that had the apples on it, and I was blown away. But yeah, I want to say that they're about $300, and that's just one card.
Yeah, just one.
So
one
you've
card.
got 15 here, so you can think of the value.
Yeah, so it's actually a great value. And then the great thing is you can access any of those tones, all 15, at any time within the Phantom, and even go as deep when we were looking at tone design in the Phantom. You could actually go in there and grab the waveforms and mix the waveforms from the different EXZ expansion boards. So that's something cool. All right, Lord Toon says, we know what the Roland Fantom can do, but since it can literally do everything the Roland Jupiter X can do, is there anything that can do over the Is there anything the Jupiter X can do that overcomes the Phantom? Will Roland Jupiter X have MIDI integration with Omnisphere? Okay, let's do that first.
That's going to be up to them.
Yeah.
And I would say that's a really good possibility because Eric and his team are just amazing.
Phenomenal. Good people.
Yeah, they're going to go through and they'll map everything, and it will change depending on the models and things like that. So I would say that is highly, highly possible.
Yeah, but it's from them. It's from them. So yeah, probably. Scott, since I have the Jupiter X, Lord Toon's piano review. This is, in my opinion, the Jupiter X. And to me, it's not really this or this. It's not a fight between our two big girls here. It's more like I had someone ask me today, Ed, I'm trying to get a Juno DS or a FA. Which is better? And my answer to everyone, and this is not a cop-out, this is just like the truth, what are you trying to do? What is your musical goal? What is your synth goal? What do you already own? And then if you answer those questions to me, I can assist you in choosing the keyboard that you want. See, because on our side, on Scott's the same way. I don't just want to help you buy a Roland per se. I want you to get a synthesizer that 6 months down the line, a year down the line, or further, you're like, cool, this one totally fits what I'm trying to do. That's,
The right product for you.
For
and,
you.
and what you're looking to do. I mean, as I addressed this one a little bit earlier, the Phantom inspires me a certain way, and the Jupiter X inspires me a different way.
Yeah.
And I get different results out of both depending on how I'm feeling from the product. So to me, they're two valuable products and different enough that it shapes differently how I play.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Shout out to Gene from LA. Bobcat22 says, Gene says hi. What's up, Gene? So, okay, Gene, I need you keep your lawyer thing up and keep your license up. Anyway, Lord Tunes with a ton of the questions. Let's see. He says, if I can get Roland Jupiter X for a guy that doesn't want to have any synths, will I be good for a Phantom and a Jupiter X for life? Would it provide everything I want with just these two? Mark Tronic says, yes, Lord. So, you know what? Back in 1986 or 87, the D50 was probably the end all for some people, right? But we're looking at, will these be the end all for life? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be. Go ahead, Scott.
A lot of Roland products are built extremely well. I mean, these things are like tanks.
Yeah.
So they're going to last a long time, one. Number two, they're not taking batteries like the old ones did to where you had to replace it. It was just a watch battery, but still you'd have to replace the battery. The D50 has been around for what, 30-something years?
Yeah.
Almost 40. So the thing is that get a fresh battery and most of them are still perfectly operational.
Yeah.
So they're holding up. So it depends on you. I mean, I've got products in this room that are 2005 that I'm still using.
I think Scotty was more asking like, is that the end all? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because like we're always evolving, because if we look back in time, the digital synthesizers of the 80s, they were good for the 80s, and they had issues with the stepping and the filter and stuff like that, where the newer keyboards don't have that. You know what I mean? So, but then there's a certain romanticism of those stepping digital synths and stuff like that. So it's totally up to you. I know for some of you out there, they've been wanting a Jupiter 8. This Jupiter X might be the one for a long time for you. And an average Roland will last anywhere from 10 to 15 to over 20 years. Maybe. It's
electronic. I mean, we will say it's an instrument, but it's also an electronic piece. So you also have to ask yourself, how long are you going to keep the computer? Now, your computer is going to update quicker and get faster and faster, whereas faster memory, maybe more memory on a keyboard is more important, but not necessarily faster. How long are you going to hold on your computer? How long are you going to keep your TV before you up? All the other electronics that you have, I would say the instruments hold up a lot longer than, the computer I'm going to want to update, or the TV or whatever. Yeah. So that's my opinion on it.
Lord Tunes, stop yelling. No need to put the exclamation point and the question mark. Technically, it's the question mark and then the exclamation point. But anyway, could Roland have implemented Zencore and ACB engine? Why didn't they do that with the Roland Jupiter X or Phantom? That's an engineering question. We have different chipsets that are going on. A lot of different things are happening, and you never know what is in the future, what might be implemented. So, we're, like I said, we're always trying to go for the future, as Mr. Kakahashi instructed us, our founder. So, we're always evolving, okay? Is ACB dead? Probably not. Zencore is coming. V-Piano, is here with the VK technology. There's a lot of engines to go from and stuff. So, and then there's different sounds we're trying to get. And I dare say, probably, I'll say it's, I bet you there's some ACB components or parts in the Jupiter X to kind of emulate the synth. I
Well,
bet you.
I would think so. I mean, the ACB technology is analog circuit behavior. So
Yes.
that behavior modeling is looking at voltage and temperature and all this other stuff. So the Jupiter X and the XM have that aging parameter and that temperature. They actually put a thermometer more or less in there to measure the temperature, the current temperature of the room, or what you want to set it to. So the modeling end, whether if it's ACB or ABM or however you want to post it, I think it's all part of its same thing. In fact, the ABM may be a more advanced ACB.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I said, we're always evolving, and at some point we start splitting hairs as far as like the marketing jargon, ACB versus ABM and all this other stuff. Just, bottom line is, does it sound good? Does it drift? Does it do, cool things that we want it to? Ultimately, that's what I think we should go for. Kirill, I think we answered how to record those drums to sequencer anyway without DAW. I'm not sure. Let us review on that one. I'm not sure on that one. Let's see. Bella Lugosi said, Lord mentioned Omnisphere, so I want to mention if you need a MIDI controller and you are using a lot of VSTs, I would do some research, but you can map the MIDI no problem. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. It just depends. The great thing, Spectrasonics and Eric Pearson, great people, great company, and also Eric is also a part of the Roland lineage and Roland family. Not professionally. We don't own them, they don't own us, but there's a lot of the same DNA in there, and he's doing excellent. So there's a good chance. It's up to him. Oh, good. I guess we did answer that for Kirill. That's cool. Let's see here. Christian, I need to back up scenes to transfer to another Phantom. It's not possible.
You have to do a whole backup.
Yeah. You have to do a whole backup. It actually is. Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
It's something that we've requested as scene export and import. And so at this time, the only way to do it is full backup. That's why Ed still has those Terminator and Mandalorian themes in there, because that's my backup.
Yeah.
That he has, that he's created into his own. But I would say it's in the future. We'll definitely see that.
Well, also, like as Scott is saying, but I was telling somebody today, this morning, when I was doing on a different stream, is my Phantom and Scott's Phantom, our keyboards that we're using here, we're doing these aren't like doing a bunch of experiments and stuff on them. You know what I mean? So my Phantoms is interesting because I'm just kind of, there's going to be some weird scenes in there that are doing very specific things, so it's a little bit different thing. So that's cool. And don't worry, like I said before, Roland is listening, and we do have stuff in the works that hopefully we'll be sharing very, very soon. So you just hold on. We are working right now across the globe on this stuff, so that's something that's really cool. Robert St. John helping out there appreciate that, Robert. Okay, and I think Kirill's figured out some stuff. Hello, Peter. Kubenga. I hope I said that right. At this time, that's right. Okay, Michael Ballard as Rezen Beats. He said, "How about an iOS driver for the Phantom?" And hey, Scott, I think we kind of on the Phantom, and we'll have to demonstrate this with Zen Beats. We got to practice it, but I think the Phantom will work generic MIDI. It would generic MIDI, but at this time we don't have an audio driver to go to iOS. So
our audio drivers are a little bit faster than any class compliant thing that's out there, which is really important for latency and things.
Yeah,
that's why we have drivers for those. Plus, the audio quality is also higher. So to get it into an iOS device, iOS doesn't have any drivers or anything like that that can be installed. It is class compliant only. So I don't know, but I mean, there's always a way that you can use a Rubix interface, which is class compliant for audio.
Yeah.
Or you could use another thing like an IK multimedia interface that would do audio in it to get it in. So it is possible. I mean, we do make interfaces that can get in there, But to go over a USB, it really requires a driver, especially when you're doing like 16 individual zones.
Cool.
So,
okay, so that's good. And my chat keeps on moving. There we go. Robert is already doing some good job. Robert St. John. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Thomas asks, how many letters could be used for memos? Is there any possibility to display the text in full screen? We've asked for that, so we'll see what happens on there for the memos. I guess I could see the memos now. Let me go and switch screens for you guys, and we can see what we can work out. Oh, you don't need that. You can just see this one. And let's go ahead. So I'll go into edit right here, and I'll edit the memo. And let's just see. Let me clear all. And so I'll just go one. Let's see. I'll just go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Looks like 6. Oh, I'm wrong again. Hold on. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. It seems to be going quite a bit. I'm just hitting characters real quick. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 54, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think 64. I think 64. I hope that helps, Tomas. I think 64. Great. Oh, let's see here. Peter, go back. Peter Kabenga says, I tried to connect my Arturia key step to try to extend the lower part of my XM keyboard, but it did not. But the it did disarm my XM keyboard. Is it possible to use an external keyboard assigned to a lower part? Yes, you can use it. You can use an external keyboard. You just have to understand. Did you catch that, Scott? Peter says he tried to connect his Arturia key step. And the key step, I believe, is that the drum, like little drum thing, little drum pad kind of thing?
yeah, I think it's just a small thing.
Okay.
Probably how I would do it, just initially thinking, would be taking one of the parts, let's say part 2, for instance. It's default to MIDI channel 2. I'd set the key step up for MIDI channel 2, and you should be able to octave it down there. If not, go into the scene and change the key range or the coarse tuning.
Yeah, so that's cool. All right, let's see here. Hey, Tim, good evening. Let's see here. Oh, look, Robert for the assist. All right, Robert. All right, cool. I'm gonna just make Robert a moderator or something. Robert,
be sure to check out his website. I think it's Jupiter X Pert, P-E-R-T. Please put it in the chat, Robert. And he's been doing vlogs and different things, and just trying to keep everything of Jupiter X or XM in one location.
Yep. And Tim Money, love it, love your name. My Phantom G7 still inspires me every day. Awesome. That's what we love to hear. If a keyboard or a synthesizer that inspires you, especially right now, man, have at it. Play at it. That's totally cool. Okay, cool. And then Peter says, I think changing gear now and then inspires your creativity. Absolutely. We want your gear to inspire you. Tim H, I still keep my first synth, and Ensoniq ESQ1. Still love it. Whoa, Ensoniq. Yeah. Hey, man.
That stuff back then, I mean, for the money, the cost, and everything else, it was like, wow, because samplers were so expensive.
Yeah. If your ESQ1 still works and you love it, man, just keep playing away. That's cool. And then someday, if it does go down, don't throw it away. Hang it in the studio. Make it, you never know. That sounds cool.
Know what it's worth, because it's like, there was a time that a lot of us lived through, that the analog gear was not worth it. I mean, that the digitals, why would you want something that can only play 6 notes when you can play 64 or whatever, of polyphony? And that was the time that so many of us let so many things go. I have a friend of mine that had a couple mini Moogs, and I think he sold them for like $300.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And let's see here. Oh God. Okay, we're not going to joke about this one. AMSR says about Wadi. He says, "What is the best way to clean the Phantom? The black material plastic is easily stained." And I don't want to joke about this because I saw somebody put in here, what is it? Damp cloth and a drop of mild hand soap. You know, I use. Here's what I use on my Phantom. What kind of cloth is this, Scott? They sell them at some of the hardware stores. What? Say it again. I'm sorry.
Microfiber.
I use a microfiber cloth. I use a microfiber cloth, and if I need to, it's barely. It's like, and I use sometimes the spray cleaners for the computer stuff. It's just a little spray. Yeah, look, Scott will dust his. I'll wipe mine down all the time with this one. I also use canned air, the fresh air, kind of canned air to kind of get it going on there like that, and that'll good. If I use any kind of liquid, it's it's just the spritz on there to kind of get in there and kind of clean. That's what I do. I don't want to joke about adding soap and water. So go ahead, Scott.
And then for the keys, most plastic keys, whether if it's synth action or 88 key or something, to get a little bit of that dirt and grime off of there, I do have some alcohol wipes. They just come in these little tiny sheets, and you can do that. Or if you're going to use rubbing alcohol, try and keep the percentage down. You don't want 100% rubbing alcohol. You want to be somewhere in that 80 mark or so. And then just put a little bit of on a paper towel or something, and then just wipe each key individually, and try not to wipe anything that's outside of the keys, like this in area, because even though it's metal or plastic, it could have paint or something on it, and you don't want to pull that off. So just do the keys.
All right, cool. So I think Enzo's telling me, Ed, you have this mic on, do the vocoder. So I'll do this for you, Enzo. Let me see here. So I'm going to switch the screens real fast. Okay. And whoops, that's not what I want. All right. So we can see the top of the keyboard. And before we go there, I'm just going to choose an internal tone. And Scott, at some point, Scott, I am going to turn off my regular talking mic. So you'll have to help a little bit on this. So
I'm going to comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, please go ahead.
Kevin Turner is saying he's absolutely loving his Phantom and about to pull the trigger on her Jupiter X. Having all this support makes me feel a lot better about making the jump. Thanks, Ed and Scott. So exactly, that's one of the things that we can offer, is that you have a great community, not just with us, but with like the other people on the chat. Go, Ed, go.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, so make sure you go to make sure you go to Facebook and you join some of those groups for the Jupiter X or Phantom. A lot of great people on there from all over the world that are willing to help you. And Scott and I are going to continue. Once we're out of this pandemic and everybody's all good, we're going to continue Synth Talk. I think there's a very good chance we probably won't have it as frequent, but we're going to definitely continue it maybe once a week, or we'll figure it out, and then we'll change the time that's more appropriate, that you guys can either watch after work, or then it also be available. It'll still be on YouTube as far as I know. And then I think we are working with Roland to do more of these kind of sessions possibly in the future on official Roland channels. So that's going to be something good. All right, let's go do some vocoder in here. This is good. I haven't done vocoder on here a whole bunch. And so first off, I plugged in my vocoder to the mic input right here. So that's good. I think I already got it set. And then next, let's see. On here, I'm going to go into menu, and let's see here. On here, I'm going to probably go and walk me through the Scott. It's been a minute. It's effects, edit, and I'm going to look right here, and I see all my effects right there. And I'm going to go into audio in, and at some point when I turn that on, when I turn this on, you should be able to hear my mic over here. So let's go ahead and see what happens. I'll turn it on. I push mic. It's not on yet. Let's hit Phantom. Test. Okay. Oh, and the big thing, I actually have to push it. So now it's on. Hey. And let me adjust. Test. And I'm going to turn off my front mic. Test. Hey, so you should be able to, right now, the mic you're hearing me from is this mic. So I pull this one away just to kind of prove it. So you're going to hear me from there. All right. And if I hit vocoder, let me go back into the screen. Hit vocoder right here.
And now you can't hear. Going.
Now you can't hear me because I hit vocoder. But now I turned on this mic so you can hear. So follow with me in here, and we'll switch back and forth for you. All right, so now I'll hit edit right in here, and this is where the vocoder stuff, and I can hit edit. And this is where I can start kind of going through some of the vocoder. This is cool. And I have the different presets that I can use. Oops. And I can start choosing what I want to use. So I'm going to turn on that one. Let me put this, and let me turn off.
Alrighty.
And I had it on piano. Let me say, hit select set recommended tone. So I did a vocoder and piano. Look out, look out. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to mute my SM7B mic, and now you're just going to hear this, and here we go.
Nice. Now speak. Now say words when you do that.
Oh, okay. Let's say words now. Okay, here, check it out. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
that's that, and that was just showing that I just wanted you guys to see that what's going on. And so now I'm going to go ahead and switch to some other ones that we can kind of have some fun with. And once again, I'm talking on my regular mic, but now I'm going to go ahead and we'll go through some of these, and so you can see my hands. And hold on. And you know what? I want to show you because it sounds like I'm opening up a filter, but I want you to kind of see it's all done. It's all done here with your voice. So, so I'm gonna shut off my mic, my hair, and then you can kind of see. I'll do the same thing, but just watch my hands, and you watch kind of you adjust the character with your mouth. This is how you do it right here. Just, baby, baby, down, baby. Testy, this is the vocal song. Testy. Test, test, test. Testy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Testing. Oh, it says a sub choir. I don't know how to use this one. Let's see. Sub choir. Who? I don't know how to use that one. We'll kind of see. Let's see. What are these? Okay, so sub choir 1 and 2 is set recommended. Not sure on that one. We'll probably have to look. All right, I'm going to turn on my regular mic now and go back. Oops. All right, so cool. That was just a little bit of the vocoder. And there you go. Enzo got you. Let's see. Let's see. And I think it's cool. I'm trying to catch up in the chat to see if everybody's still there because I have my stuff. Scott, you there? What's going on? Let's see here.
I'm here. I just kind of watching. It looked like a lot going back and forth within the group, which was great. Hope you guys enjoyed that. You walked into something that Ed loves to do in the vocoding, and just kind of take off.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying. Yeah, it's just so much fun with the vocoding. Just kind of. It's just such a fun thing. And okay, there we go. Oh. My wife is. I think she's had seriously. Okay, I'm gonna do this for you. Scott loves this part. I'm gonna let you hear what it sounds. Hope it gets some love. Okay, I don't even understand. Okay, hold on. So say like this sound. Okay, so I'll do the vocoding. This is always kind of fun for me too. So you can actually hear I'm going to have it so you can hear this mic and then you can hear the actual vocoding. But when I'm on headphones, this is what my wife hears, and just so you guys can kind of hear. Yeah, my wife is very mean right now. She's in so much trouble. Okay, so check this out. So I'll just go, hallelujah. And that one's bad, but this is the rope. Yeah, so that's just kind of fun for me too. And I know it sounds real horrible if you're just listening with headphones, like with my headphones on, and you just hear my real voice and not what I'm doing. So yeah, that's
I mean,
funny.
honestly, it's not bad because your pitch is pretty close. But yeah, you can be completely off pitch. It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
But or on pitch, you can also mix in the actual live mic sound and add it to whatever you're vocoding.
Yeah, if I really wanted to, much to my wife's dismay, I can do so I'm really focused on kind of keeping my internal pitch, what's going on here, and then it can be kind of fun. You can kind of adjust on there. So anyway, yeah, Suzanne said my cat just ran away. He's like, I am out of here. All right, so that's a little bit of the vocoder in here. And, one thing about the vocoder, and we'll explore this some more, is the vocoder can actually go ahead and mix with some of the internal sounds. We haven't even shown that. I'll show you that real quick since we have one up. I'll go ahead and pull on that large choir. the and I'll turn off my voice. But then I can go ahead and mix in part 2, and let me just make some adjustments so you guys can see. And that one, I'm going to exit for a second, and I'm going to go see to that part 2, and it's already. I'll turn them both on together. Ooh, and let me kill my. So you see, we can actually mix some different sounds together, and we're going to have some more fun on that at another time. But that was just for Enzo. He wanted to see that, so we made sure to put that in there. Oh, thanks, Robert, scaring his chihuahua, too. Andy, thanks, Andy. Some adults, too. You guys, y'all are so funny. So, yeah, Robert's wife just shouted out disco robots from the 70s. You guys need to go out and do something. No, don't go out right now. Just be cool. Okay. So mean. You guys are crazy. All right. So I think, let's see. Enzo said, nice. I really wanted everyone to see that. I remember your performance of the V-Synth GT when you used the vocoder. Let's see some vocoded drums. I have never tried to vocode the drums. Let me work on that, Enzo, because it could be a total fail. 'Cause I've never tried to vocode drums.
Gatobus did a video, Johnny, where he took a drum track and then took the output, so went out of a sub out of the Phantom into the mic line in, so that was the carrier, and then used that when he played to trigger the keyboard parts.
Yeah, so I might have to try that. It's just not just for fun. It's not something I would probably use in a live situation per se, but you never know. Okay, let me put Scott back on the screen here with me. Awesome. All right, so let's see here. Do Rocket, Herbie Hancock. Hey, man, this ain't that kind of show. What you talking about? I will tell you guys this funny thing, speaking of Herbie Hancock. So, make sure adjustment. So at NAMM, if the NAMM show is the National Association of Music Merchandisers, and that's where we demo new products and stuff like that. Well, the NAMM show, where we were showing the AX Synth, the precursor to the AX Edge. So I'm there doing the AX Synth, the guitar, kind of playing and having fun, and I looked down as Herbie Hancock watching me, and as I was playing Chameleon, and that was the weirdest thing ever, just FYI. Totally nice cat, though, but it was just like, great. Herbie Hancock's watching. And I know Scott feels the same way when, say, like a Jordan Rudess or somebody like that comes up. It's just like, can you go away? Can you... Here, shoo. It's kind of crazy.
Show you. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
For me, though, in the past, what's happened is I'll be demonstrating.
Say, Scott, can I try? No. No, you cannot. No, we love Jordan. Jordan's a cool cat. He's one of our bros, so it's totally cool. But yeah, no, you can't play. No. So okay, let's get in there. And I probably missed some in there, but I know I wanted to get in there, and I made Robert St. John as moderator. Robert St. John, woo! I could throw you up on there. I didn't even make Scott a moderator. I made Robert St. John. What do you think about that, Scott? So I'm gonna have to get him a T-shirt that says moderator.
Like I can barely see the chat. I've got to figure out a way to get the computer closer without getting it in the shot. So
it's too bad. Too bad you don't know anybody that knows how to make stuff with wood, Scott. So
I don't.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, Scott in a past life he's a master cabinet maker, and he's totally killer, but he's a butthead. So anyway, all right, let's see here. Look, he's like, wow. I don't know if that's legal. Can I say that? I didn't cuss. So anyway, I don't know. Scott's now not going to help me out with any kind of building stuff. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I don't hear any vocoder. Okay, it's my wife. Now let's see. You can enter a chord on the Jupiter XM set. Should have set it in the TR mode. That's cool. Enter it away. Okay. And I see some. Okay. Yeah, Enzo, I'll try that. Take a look. That's where I learned from Gatobus. We're not worthy. You're so funny. Tim H, laugh out loud. All right. So I think this is good. I think we answered a lot of stuff for you guys. And I'm looking at all the smart Alex out there. That's one thing I love about being a musician. All of you guys and gals are really, really funny. Y'all are great people. So That's great, people. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, this is Roger Starchild said he uses a drafting brush on all his equipment. I think
Yeah.
a drafting brush is a brush like
Really?
that.
Yeah, they're really fun. I mean, you could also find a nice paintbrush that's really, really soft that you could use for dusting. I would use that for all kinds of different things.
Absolutely. And I see Evan Turner loving his Phantom, about to pull the trigger on the Jupiter X. Absolutely. It is shipping now. We love to hear that it is shipping. Having all the support makes you feel okay. You already said that. Yeah, man, we're here to stay. We're going to be doing some more fun stuff. You can call your local dealer, see if they have one in stock. And then, a lot of dealers out there, especially if you want to support your local ones, you can actually call them ahead. You can do most of the stuff on the phone. And look, there's a Gato in that picture over there. You can actually do it on the phone, and they will bring it out to your car if you go to pick it up. I know I've done that already. And then I know a lot of our local dealers have internet websites and are internet-based dealers. So, if you want, now's not a bad time. If everything is good for you financially and you can do it, hey, man, go get that gear, and we're going to be here to support you. So just remember that. We're going to be here to support you, and you can go to Roland Product Support as well, where we have new videos come out. We just did a simple one today, but we have to do more editing, and Scott and I, now that we're getting our setups all tightened up here, we'll be able to do more of these for you. So just keep that in mind. So just keep on keeping on. Oh, look, my friend Rick, also from my town, he says, you surviving? Yes, sir, we are surviving and thriving over here, so we are good. Let's see here. Tim H., maybe we could talk a little bit about Scene Change, featured with great potential for us touring live performers. Actually, Tim, I think that's a great suggestion, but I think we covered that. I'm going to look real quick in here for you. Everybody give me a second. And, right, Scott, I think we covered Scene Change, but
Yeah, I think we went through it in more depth. I mean, we can always go back and go through it, but yeah, the thing is the copy and paste feature, being able to copy a scene chain to another one. So let's say your song is 15 scene changes. You could copy all 15 and move it into a new scene chain section. So you could reorganize songs or reorganize the set list, or however you're doing things.
And I'm looking right now here for you, Tim, and this for all of you guys. Let me go ahead and post in, I think I never tried to do this. Let's copy link address, and I don't know if you guys can access this, but the YouTube playlist, oh, of course you can, it's in YouTube, for the Synth Talk. So if I was to go inside this playlist, and I'm pulling this up for you right now, this is where we are. Today is the 18th episode of Synth Talk. But I'm trying to find in here. Here you go. I got it for you right here, Tim. Oh, wait. No, that's that? Yeah, that's it. Let me see here. I'm trying to save it. Oh, here we go. Copy link address. I think this is it right here. Here you go. Here's it. I think that's the right one. I just sent you right there. So as Synth Talk episode 8, we talked about the keyboard switch groups, and actually this is a good time to talk about what we had. Episode 1 was introduction to Synth Talk and Roland Fantom. 2 was Jupiter X. 3 was Jupiter X. 4 was Roland Fantom and Apple Logic, which we're going to revisit some of that because we've actually learned a lot since there. 5 was Roland Fantom sequencing. That was actually, I really enjoyed that one, Scott. We went over a lot of stuff on that one. Let's see here. 6, we talked about the RD2000, which I love the RD2000. And I think on Roland Product Support, we have over 40 videos, but we didn't get a lot of response on the RD2000 from that group. Maybe we covered it too much on the online, and it's doing great, so that's cool. 7, we talked about the Phantom and main stage. 8, keyboard switch groups. 8 is a good 8. Synth Talk 8 is a great episode because it talks about keyboard switch groups and scene chains. That is a great one for all of you guys that are out there gigging or on tour. That is one I really highly want you guys to get. Episode 9 with our special guest Mark Watson on there from Roland, Australia, and we'll probably have him back. Every show, I'm hoping you guys will see if you can see improvements in what we're trying to do. So we're trying to improve a lot, and we do.
That was a great episode until Mark took over the stream.
Until Mark messed it up. So, no, Synth Talk 10 was Phantom Basic sampling and triggering. That was also a good one. We learned a lot in innovation, or just using multiple keyboards, and you want to learn how to go ahead and change sounds on those multiple keyboards. The Phantom changing the sounds for you. That's an excellent one. That's Synth Talk 11 external MIDI control. That is a great one in there. Synth Talk 12, we talked all about editing and creating drums. So that one's total nerd session, but that was fun. I enjoyed that one. For a lot of you guys that are new to the Phantom, we talked about on episode 13 how to edit and create tones and scenes. 14 was just a general discussion on the XM, which I'm hoping you enjoying. Sometimes we do a general discussion where you guys can just ask questions, and I got to tell you, Scott, I'm really impressed with everybody helping everybody out on here. This is so awesome to me. So I love the sense of community on here from everybody. That's awesome. 15, we talked about Apple Logic and Mainstage Part 2, so we learned some more stuff. And 16 was general discussion, because that was a great one. We had Mr. David Allen from Roland UK on here, and David, we love David to death, killer keyboard player. He talked about some of the Matrix stuff in the Phantom, which was totally cool. And we're going to have David on again. He had a great time, and we'll have him on again in the future talking about other stuff. David is an excellent player, really cool cat. And so that was a good time. And today we were just, 17 was how to record. 17, Scott, I thought was a real good one. For all of you that are into Ableton, we talked about how to record audio and MIDI with Ableton Live. So if you can, check that one out. That was real good, because the Phantom can be used as an audio MIDI interface on pretty much any DAW out there. So that's
one of the things that I found interesting with our synth chats is that, I when I've got time and things like that, I go through YouTube and I'll find something and I'll get into it. And there's a couple things that you get like 5 minutes into something and you're like, it's taking too long. I don't have the patience. Now, some of the synth chats that we've done, I've gone back, or the synth talks that we've done, I've gone back just to check quality and was curious on something or whatever. And then next thing you know, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
So somehow, even though I was part of it or watching, I still found myself entertained by it, stepping out and watching it later, which I just kind of find cool and funny at the same time,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I know some of you are just having it on in the background in your studio when you're cleaning up and you're doing stuff. That's cool, it's just kind of fun. Let me answer a couple of questions in here. Let me see where we're at. Let's get my friend Rick. There's it. And Tim, that's cool. Talk that. Shared some links. Enzo says, blah, blah, blah. He says, I ran into an instance where I needed to swap two zones. Is there a way to do this? So two zones with each other. I don't think there's a way to swap. You just have to recreate the zones. It's not a way to swap them in there.
If it's something you've messed with or customized, then make sure you save the tone first, name it, whatever, and bring it in. But yeah, I don't know of a way that you could actually flip them.
Yeah, I don't think there's the way in there, but it's okay. Like Scott was just saying, you could just save it and just bring it back up. That's all good. Tim H said, would it be really cool if they could implement the feature of seeing the next scene with a scene chain view? We are listening to that right now, Tim. So this is, I think Japan's watching as well, possibly. So this is something we're asking for, and the Phantom platform is actually growing and being adjusted. So that is something that we've heard a couple times, quite a bit, and so we're going to try and do that. And Tim says he wants to reduce the Phantom to the Phantom only live, currently using a Kurzweil and an Access Virus T. I love the Access Virus. That's a killer board. If you want to get rid of it, Tim, just hit me up. You can trade it. Anyway, so, is it very possible in there? Because, with the Phantom, as you know, Tim, being an experienced guy, with the Phantom, everybody, you can layer and split, octave shift the Phantom up to 16 different ways, all this different things going. And even have the Phantom, as Scott has mentioned in the past, have the Phantom be triggered via MIDI, another keyboard. And the Phantom's just basically the engine, the sound engine. But you could totally do that as well, too. So that's very possible, Tim. As you know, and as a lot of you live players know, you just really have to think about your particular needs in there. When you say, Scott, you just have to think about.
Yeah, because one of the things that we covered in a previous one is that we had Logic changing the scenes in the Phantom. So let's say you're gigging, you got a band going on, you're using something like Logic or possibly another program or whatever to run backing tracks or lighting or anything like that. You could even slip in program changes if you wanted to.
Okay.
So, what did you do?
Well, no. Tim is being mean, and he says he's going to keep the virus. Aw. Rude. Okay. You keep your virus. Whoa. What is that, Scott? Is that an FX sound? Check that out. So one of you, James Smith, was asking, hey, is there anything I can do? Anything cool things you could do in the FX sound section? And Scott, I don't really go to the FX sound section as teaching this, but there's a lot of cool, neat stuff in here.
Always cool stuff in there.
Yeah, this is like, what is this freaky sound? So you can actually go in here, and these are fun. So this one's, I'll play a couple. Let me watch the volume on these. Just by holding one note, let's just hit it. Oh, bunch of crazy stuff.
Atmosphere.
I'm gonna hit it. Let's just choose another one real quick.
But there was one, I don't know if it's in there. It's like free jack or free something or other. That depending on how you hit the keys, it almost sounded like talking over the radio, really, really distorted. You couldn't make anything out, but you could hear something.
Let's see, because there is a search function in the Phantom. So let's see if we can get search, and let's type in free. Oh, let's see. So no, I don't think it's in there. Let's see what FR brought up. Next Frontier. Oh, this is a classic. I like this one. Bring this down a little bit. And then I saw someone put, let's see, James, Kirill said, James, oh yeah, especially by try adding filters. So let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun with these. Oh, here's one of my all-time favorites, is the Pure Tibet. In a land before man.
Yeah, Twilight Zone, Outer.
There were monkeys. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I completely dated myself when I said Outer Limits, Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah. So let's go ahead and just have a little bit of fun with this. You could totally, just grab some filter. Let's see. I guess I have to turn the filter on that one. Let's see if I can grab something on this guy. Let me see here. Let me find some other ones. I'm trying to find. There were some really good ones, Well, the thing is, on these, you're just going to have to play with them. And there can be some really kind of... And we're just kind of going through, and I'm just throwing just a couple, just so you guys can kind of just have some fun with it. Ooh, what's this? Echo drops. So just kind of have fun with this. Let me go back to some of the questions. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see here. I shouldn't say blah, blah, blah. It's not blah, blah, blah. I love all these.
Yeah. So I was asking about the category for stacked sounds. And we've seen those in other products and things where they've loaded that. This may be nothing more than a future placeholder.
Or you could actually create a tone and title it stack and throw it in there.
Yeah, but what they would do is that they had certain sounds that were in there that were stacked. So you may have it'd be the same thing as creating a tone from scratch. And you would have one partial is, strings, another partial is a bell, another partial is, a sound effect or something. So that's usually what they were set up for.
Ooh, what's this one? It's called Free Jazz.
Ed. That's the one that I was talking about before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. slow it down or play the key. See how it's set up.
Okay.
I think there's.
So I'm going to
down.
play the key, and then I'm going to lean into it just to get a little bit of aftertouch. That's cool. Oh, I think you've used this one. That's a good one. That's a good one in there. Oh, Zapper. Oh, Rainforest. There's so many fun sounds in here, of course. All of those in there. There's a bunch of fun stuff. Okay, I digress. I'm not going to go that much into the. I'm not sure what your flashing issue. I'm not sure what that is. AMRS Battle Wowie. I'm not sure on that one. Just hit us a message and stuff. I am not sure what you mean by flashing, because the Phantom does flash, and I have gotten. I think on a previous keyboard it would just flash when you play certain things on a Juno DS, and we went ahead and just turned off all the flashing in there. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Let's see here. Michael Ballard says, now that some Supernatural SN sounds have been re-added to the Phantom, will Supernatural patch sets from the Axial website be compatible? He's asking about the Integra. I'm not sure, because it has to do partly with the Supernatural. Well, it has to do with the architecture of that. And the Integra, the Integra will probably not be compatible as far as grabbing those patch sets, but maybe we can port over some of those somehow on there, right, Scott? Because the Integra, some of the Integra ones, well, the Integra ones work for the FA, because it's kind of like an Easter egg, how that those are actually.
They shared the same Supernatural synth engine.
Yeah.
So they were able to do that. I think right now with where things are, they're completely different.
Yeah. Completely different. But don't worry, there's lock for sync with the drummer and even the DMX lighting. I hope it keeps a steady beat. Yeah, Tim makes an interesting point. We've had guys use the sequencers in Phantoms before. I remember first time I heard that was one of our old co-workers. He used to use the Phantom G sequencer to control lights. So as he would play the sequence, he would have it send MIDI messages to his DMX controller, because DMX controller, if you guys do a little research, it's actually MIDI. It's MIDI. You just have to tell the different channel, what MIDI channel that it reacts to. So that's really kind of neat. And I didn't realize that until he heard that. And then I was just like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Enzo says, I get the flashing on the TR button sometimes, but it doesn't hurt anything as of yet. Okay. Make sure, on all those kind of things, make sure you have the latest OS update, because that could be a little gremlin in there. But just check on that kind of stuff. And we can, and you guys let us know what these flashing are, so we can let our engineers in Japan know and see if there's in there. Like I said, with Scott and I, we have the same Phantoms that you have. In ours, we just do all bunch of kind of experiments on them, so I haven't seen anything as of note. So just make sure you have the latest OS on the Phantoms, and we'll hopefully that will improve. We may have an X-Files case on our hands. That's true, Enzo. You might have to, especially you live in Florida. That could happen. So that's cool. All buttons flash time to time. Looks like a Zen core, like the Zen core breathing. Absolutely, could be. Yep. Well, we'll check. It depends. Is it hurting the keyboard bottom line? So we'll keep looking at that. All right. So we're already 2 hours in. So I'm gonna probably let you guys go. Scott and I, we're gonna let you guys go. But I think I'm just going to confirm I might have a special guest tomorrow, another touring keyboard guy out here. I won't say his name yet, but he tours with a big act. And I need to get Tim and some of the other guys, I need to get back on the show real quick. I tell you what, before we go, well, let's see. Now, I'll do this later. Because if I open up the phone, and it actually still is technically open, that could leave, get us here for even a couple more hours. But this is cool. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys and gals, if there's any gals out there, let you go for now. Tomorrow, episode 19 of Synth Talk, we're going to have a special guest artist on with us if he confirms. And then we have some more fun stuff coming on here, and we have a lot of news coming for you soon out there. So as we say goodbye, remember, wash your hands, wear your gloves, cover your face with a mask, don't breathe on anybody, and you guys go ahead and just really take care of yourselves. Don't hoard food. Take care of your elders, and that could be by talking to them through the door. Make sure they have food. Don't hoard the toilet paper. Don't hold the food, and just be generally nice to each other. And keep on working on your gear. It's getting stronger on it, so that when we're out of this mess, you guys can really kick some serious butt on stage. All right, love you all. You guys be safe, and we'll see you mañana. All right, this is Ed, and what's your name? Scott. Okay. Want anything to add, Scott, before I shut it off?
Oh, that was it. Thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate you, and thanks so much for hanging out.
All right. You guys be safe, and we'll see you in the mañana. All right. Peace. Bye.